Central Intelligence is a comedy film and stars Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson. The film was about a man played by Kevin Hart who back in high school was the most popular guy around and was voted the most likely to succeed. And the film was also about another guy played by Dwayne Johnson who was completely unpopular and basically was humiliated in high school. And 20 years later, their roles have been reversed where Kevin Hart is now living an amateur life and Dwayne Johnson's character works at the CIA. Before I saw this film, I had no expectations for this film. They were neither high nor low because I only saw this film for the entertainment value. Because I knew I was going to see a film that wasn't going to make you think, wasn't going to challenge you on a mental and emotional level. However, even though this film does have a clear target audience in mind, this film was actually surprisingly good. Not great, but still pretty good. Although I'll get my negatives out of the way first. For the first 10 minutes, I did not laugh once. And during those first 10 minutes, I was like, is this really what the film's going to be? Me just sitting here for 2 hours, not laughing at any of the jokes. And while the jokes in Central Intelligence don't hit their mark, there are a couple of good ones. And some of them were actually well written. This is one of the few comedies I've seen where they actually tried to make the jokes funny. Like, the first 10 minutes weren't funny at all. But it's not until adult Dwayne Johnson's character is introduced that the film starts to pick up. And it gets better and better and better. And the chemistry between Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson is also just brilliant. As these two are able to work off each other and just create magic together. Kevin Hart by himself, I don't know, he just wasn't that funny. Like, the thing that annoyed me most about this film was there was a lot of Kevin Hart doing Kevin Hart. Which basically means he tries to make every single scene he's in funny. And when he's working with Dwayne Johnson's character, that's when the jokes work. However, when he's by himself, that's when the jokes don't work. I was just sitting there, not smiling at all, not laughing, and just like, really? And I wasn't expecting the story to be, a game changer. I wasn't expecting it to be good. The story was pretty decent, however, the plot is a bit complicated. It was a bit hard to follow at times. The main villain in this film, I didn't mind this actor's appearance, but much like the villain in The Nice Guys, the villain was underwhelming at best. There's also a brand of comedy in this film that really didn't need to be in here, and that's when the characters have to make references to old movies and pop culture references. Because there was a reference to the film Goodfellas, no one in the cinema laughed at that reference, because this film confuses its target audience. No one would have any idea what Goodfellas is. Because in Australia, Goodfellas is rated R18, and this film is rated M for mature audiences. And basically that rating means teenagers can go see this film, and I guarantee it, no teenager will get that reference. There are a couple good references, and some of them do work. There's a reference to 16 Candles, which brilliantly works. However, the Goodfellas reference just doesn't work. And it's this type of comedy I don't like. It's when they have to make references to movies for no reason to drive the comedy. It just doesn't work. You either need to come up with new material or make a joke that relates to your situation. Don't make references that just don't fit in the story. Another positive thing about the film is the action scenes were actually pretty good. Some of it doesn't work, at some points it does feel a bit weird, they're trying to shove both action and comedy together, and here it just feels forced. But the action was still pretty good, it did have its moments of kick-ass. And of course there's cliches, which I won't spoil, but they're in there. One of the best parts of this film is in the credits. And this is not a spoiler, it doesn't spoil anything of the plot, so don't worry. Basically, it's a collection of outtakes from the film, and these were actually funny. And overall, while this film does have problems, surprisingly, this was actually a nice surprise. Not only was it better than I expected, but it had comedy that worked to the points. The comedy in this film, at least the filmmakers tried to make it funny, which they did successfully. The jokes weren't forced, the comedy wasn't shoved right in your face. The filmmakers actually tried to make the jokes work, and they did. Some of it doesn't work, but some of it did, and that worked as well. Again, the chemistry between Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart also worked brilliantly. It was complete magic, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing these two work again in the future. The action was good, and while the story is a bit complicated and it's a bit hard to follow and not that interesting, this film I would recommend is worth a watch, and I'm going to give this film a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like my Facebook page, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to my channel below. I'm NETX5. Thank you for watching.